If your erections aren't as firm as they used to be, if fatigue has become a daily struggle, and if you're avoiding intimacy, not because you want to, but because your body simply isn't responding anymore, I want you to listen closely. The cause may not be aging alone. It could be something far more manageable, a deficiency in 3 key vitamins that your body quietly depends on for blood flow, hormonal balance, and energy production. Hi, I'm Dr. Emma Blake, a urology and men's health expert. I help men improve performance, protect their prostate, and feel their best at any age. And after more than 10 years of working with men over 60, I can tell you this: I've seen countless men reclaim the strength, drive, and sexual vitality they thought were lost forever. It doesn't always take a prescription. Sometimes it starts with correcting deficiencies that are surprisingly common and frequently ignored. The truth is, many men don't lack desire, they lack circulation, they lack mitochondrial energy, they lack hormonal support. And the root of those issues is often hidden in their nutritional status. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 essential vitamins every man over 60 should understand, how they work together to restore erectile health, support testosterone, and revive your natural energy. I'll also cover the common mistakes most men make when trying to fix these deficiencies and how to avoid them. Let's start with the one I see most often, the nutrient your body once made easily with sunlight, but now struggles to produce as you age. When levels are low, circulation drops, energy fades, and performance suffers. Vitamin D, the foundation of vitality. I'm talking about vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, but for men, it's the foundation of strength, stamina, and confidence. I hear the same story in my practice almost every week. A man walks in, sharp, disciplined, health-conscious, but frustrated. "Doctor," he says, "I still want to be intimate, but my body won't respond." And I tell him this: before we talk about prescriptions, we're going to look at your vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the most misunderstood and underestimated nutrients when it comes to male vitality. Most men associate it with bone strength or immune health, but in the research, its impact on erectile function is clear and direct. Peer-reviewed studies, including those from the Journal of Sexual Medicine, show that vitamin D plays a central role in how well your blood vessels dilate. This matters because an erection is a vascular event. If your vessels aren't flexible and responsive, blood can't fill the erectile chambers properly. Here's how it works. When vitamin D is low, your body produces less nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that signals blood vessels to relax and expand. It's how blood gets to the penis in the first place. So, if you're low in D, you're likely low in NO. And without nitric oxide, firm erections become harder to achieve and maintain. In fact, studies show that over 40% of men over 60 are deficient in vitamin D, and that number rises in winter, in men with darker skin, or in those who spend most of their day indoors. What this means clinically is simple. Your vessels aren't functioning optimally, and your sexual performance reflects that. But there's good news. Reversing a vitamin D deficiency is one of the easiest things you can do to restore circulation and erectile response. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight, eating fatty fish, fortified dairy, or, if needed, supplementing with the high-quality vitamin D3 can restore levels to where they need to be. And when that happens, men report more energy, better mental clarity, and firmer erections. It's not magic. It's human physiology functioning the way it's supposed to. But circulation is only half the equation. You also need energy to sustain it. That's where our second essential nutrient becomes crucial. Vitamin B12, the energy catalyst. I see it all the time. A man in his 60s or 70s says to me, "Doctor, I'm eating fine, I'm sleeping 8 hours a night, but I still feel drained. My mind's foggy, I don't feel sharp, and honestly, when it's time to be intimate, I just don't have the energy." That's classic vitamin B12 deficiency, and it's one of the most overlooked problems I see in men over 60. B12 is essential for energy production at the cellular level. It's what your body uses to convert food into usable energy, not just for muscles, but for brain function, hormone synthesis, and even sexual performance. You could have a perfect diet and still feel exhausted if you can't convert nutrients efficiently. And that's exactly what happens when B12 is lacking. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that low B12 levels contribute to fatigue, brain fog, and poor physical endurance even in men with otherwise normal labs. And here's something most men don't realize. B12 is also critical for red blood cell formation. And red blood cells are what carry oxygen to your brain, muscles, and genitals. If you don't have enough healthy red blood cells, your oxygen delivery slows down, and so does everything else. You feel heavy, dull, slow. You're not broken, you're just underpowered. Now here's where it gets tricky. As we age, our ability to absorb B12 from food drops significantly. Even if you're eating meat, eggs, or dairy, your stomach may not be producing enough intrinsic factor, a compound necessary for B12 absorption. In fact, studies show that 30% or more of adults over 60 have some level of B12 malabsorption, even with adequate dietary intake. This is why so many men over 60 report that persistent fatigue, mental fuzziness, or low libido just seems to appear out of nowhere. Often, it's not aging, it's deficiency. The solution? For many men, a daily B12 supplement in the form of methylcobalamin, the active bioavailable form, is enough to correct this. For others, especially those with digestive issues, periodic B12 injections under medical supervision may be more effective. Clinical studies show that when B12 levels are restored, men report clearer thinking, better energy, stronger libido, and a renewed sense of vitality. But there's still one more piece of the puzzle, and it's a big one. Even if your blood is flowing, even if your energy is coming back, your blood vessels still need protection from oxidative stress. Your hormones still need stability. That's where vitamin E comes in. Vitamin E, the vascular protector. In my practice, I meet a lot of men who are doing everything right. They exercise, they eat clean, they take care of themselves, but still they tell me something feels off. My motivation is down. I'm not recovering like I used to. I don't feel like myself anymore. More often than not, these men are missing a critical but under-discussed player in male health: vitamin E. Vitamin E is a potent antioxidant. That means it helps protect your body from oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, two of the most damaging silent forces behind age-related decline in circulation, testosterone, and performance. Research from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology shows that oxidative stress contributes to endothelial damage, weakening blood vessel function, and to disruptions in hormone production, especially testosterone. That's right, chronic low-grade inflammation and oxidation can directly impair the body's ability to make and use testosterone. Vitamin E acts as a shield. It keeps blood vessels flexible. It supports healthy circulation. And since erectile function depends almost entirely on strong blood flow, this makes vitamin E one of the unsung heroes of sexual health.
But that's not all. Vitamin E also supports Leydig cell function, the cells in your testes responsible for producing testosterone. After age 60, when testosterone naturally drops by about 1 to 2% per year, that protection becomes even more critical. Fertility and sterility studies show that men with sufficient vitamin E levels maintain stronger hormonal profiles and experience better sexual function than those who are deficient. Now, here's what most people don't realize. Synthetic vitamin E is not the same as natural vitamin E. Most cheap supplements use only one form, synthetic alpha-tocopherol, and that's not enough. You need a blend of tocopherols and tocotrienols to get the full antioxidant and hormonal benefits. Natural food sources like almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and dark leafy greens are great places to start. And when supplementation is needed, go with a natural mixed tocopherol formula, not the synthetic kind. The synergy, D, B12, and E working together. And here's where things get really interesting. When you optimize vitamin D, B12, and E at the same time, something powerful happens. These three don't just work on their own, they amplify each other. In my clinical experience, the men who see the most dramatic improvements in energy, in libido, in confidence, aren't the ones who fix just one deficiency. It's the men who address all three. Vitamin D, B12, and E don't operate in isolation. They interact with one another to support the entire system of male vitality, blood flow, energy, and hormones. It's a systems-based synergy, not a piecemeal fix. Vitamin D boosts nitric oxide production, opening up your blood vessels. B12 ensures that blood is rich in oxygen and delivered efficiently. Vitamin E keeps those vessels healthy and supports your testosterone-producing cells. Together, they create a physiological environment much closer to what you had in your 30s and 40s. Not because of artificial stimulation, but because your systems are supported the way nature intended. And the research backs it up. Studies show that men who maintain optimal levels of D, B12, and E perform better in every metric related to energy, sexual function, and aging. Not just one benefit, but a full-spectrum improvement in how they feel, think, move, and respond to intimacy. So why don't more men experience this? Because most make a few critical mistakes. The first is assuming all vitamins are created equal. They're not. Most store-bought supplements are synthetic, poorly absorbed, and in the wrong form for older adults. For example, B12 is often sold as cyanocobalamin, which your liver has to convert into methylcobalamin before it can be used. That conversion becomes less efficient with age. Vitamin D2, another common version, is significantly less bioavailable than D3. And synthetic vitamin E lacks the spectrum of tocopherols and tocotrienols your cells actually need. Research in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition makes this clear. Bioavailability, your body's ability to absorb and use a nutrient, is everything. And as you get older, your absorption goes down. So form and quality matter more than ever. The second mistake, inconsistency. You can't fix a decades-long deficiency by taking a supplement once in a while. Your body needs daily, steady support to rebuild cellular energy, repair blood vessels, and restore hormonal rhythm. This isn't a one-time boost. It's a long-term investment in how you want to feel moving forward. When I work with men over 60, my goal is always to simplify, not complicate their routine. You don't need dozens of pills or a complicated plan. You just need a few high-impact nutrients delivered consistently and in the right form. Your recommended protocol. Here's what I recommend as a baseline protocol. Vitamin B12. Each morning, take your B12 supplement with a protein-rich breakfast to aid absorption. The form you want is methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. A typical dose is 1,000 to 2,000 micrograms daily, depending on your lab values and symptoms. For men with significant fatigue or absorption issues, your physician may suggest injections. Vitamin D. Aim to get 15 to 20 minutes of sun exposure in the morning when UVB rays are strongest and safest. This helps stimulate natural vitamin D production through the skin, but if you're in a northern climate, it's winter, or you're often indoors, a vitamin D3 supplement of 2,000 to 4,000 IUs daily is generally appropriate. Again, your optimal dose should be guided by blood testing. Vitamin E. Prioritize real food sources like almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and dark leafy greens. If you choose to supplement, make sure it's a natural mixed tocopherol formula, not just synthetic alpha-tocopherol. These three nutrients, taken consistently, help address the root causes of low energy, poor circulation, and declining sexual performance, not just the symptoms. And research shows that with daily application, most men begin noticing improvements in energy, clarity, and sexual responsiveness within 4 to 8 weeks. But what's especially important here is the long-term impact. These nutrients help rebuild foundational systems, your vascular function, your mitochondrial energy, and your hormonal axis. And like medications that mask or override your biology, these compounds work with your body, not against it. When your blood vessels are elastic, when your nerves are firing efficiently, and your testosterone is naturally supported, you're not just functioning better, you feel younger, stronger, and more alive. That's what optimal aging really means. Conclusion and next steps. So if you're over 60 and feeling off, tired, disconnected, unable to perform the way you used to, don't assume it's just aging. Get your B12, vitamin D, and vitamin E levels checked. Start a targeted protocol and give your body a few weeks to respond. Because in my clinical experience, when men take their nutritional foundation seriously, everything else starts improving: energy, mood, sleep, intimacy, and overall confidence. And finally, if you want to take things one step further and enhance the effects of vitamin D on blood flow, I highly recommend a clinically formulated nitric oxide booster made from organic watermelon extract. It's rich in L-citrulline, the amino acid your body uses to produce nitric oxide, which is essential for healthy circulation, firm erections, and vascular health. You'll find the link to the supplement I recommend in the pinned comment below. Take care of your body, prioritize your sexual health, because you're worth feeling good every single day.